but I want to tell you the 5 lessons learned from generating traffic for our business. Is that cool? Okay. First, who is responsible for traffic? Somebody needs to wake up in the morning and say, I am responsible for traffic. If you want traffic, if you want more stuff to grow in your business, you need to have somebody wake up and say, I am responsible for that. If not, it's your responsibility. Here's number 2. I want to ask you, break this down. Who wakes up in the morning thinking about that thing? And what KPIs are they watching to get paid on? I'll give you an example. We love telling people, hey, your KPI is to hit 300,000 in sales. But the question is, do they get paid on the thing that they get to watch? If you're having someone watch a KPI that they don't get paid on, there's something wrong. It should blow your mind for a second, right? We have people that we tell them to watch a certain KPI, but we don't pay them on that KPI, right? If you just fix that, it'll fix your entire business. The only KPI that they should watch is the KPI that they get paid on, which also means that's the KPI that they can influence. So if a closer's KPI is to get more people signed up, they can watch it, they can influence it, they get paid on it. They don't care about anything else. If something goes wrong, you can fix it, but they have to get paid on the KPI that you're asking them to watch. Number 2, I would love for you to take a vision board, an idea here. I want you to figure out how you can build the top thing in your space. Top podcast in your space, top YouTube channel in your space, top email list in your space, top website in your space, top little niche newsletter in your space, top something in your space. You have to make a commitment to you, to me, to your family right now that you are going to build the top something in your space. Anything, but you have to own something. You have to be the top one thing. You have to own one top thing in your space. So our company's name was TELUS. The company on the right is Douglas Elliman. They're publicly traded. They acquired us. We started doing internal calls and for training. I was doing 1 call a week on Fridays. Then I had this idea. I was like, why don't we start doing a call every day? Because we had a lot of people. So we started a call Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Then I was like, we have hundreds of calls recorded. Let's just make this a podcast. We became the top podcast in our space. I had the CEO of our acquiring company say, I think I have to pay you a premium just to acquire your podcast. Think about that for a second. How we announced the acquisition was on our podcast because it was the number 1 podcast in the space. So if you had the number 1 thing in your space, you get to really carve out a niche for that. You can go niche, the number 1 micro newsletter in your space, the number 1 TikTok channel in your space, the number 1 daily text message in your space. Whenever you think about scale is very hard to define. Please I'll give you a definition for scale. And to me, scale is formulaic growth, meaning I put in $1, I get 2 on the back. Otherwise, I'm still growing. I've not hit scale yet. Scale is when you know something formulaic starts to happen. But there's only 2 ways to scale a business. Let me tell you what they are. You can either formulaically scale with paid media, or you can formulaically scale with outbound. If you want to scale, you either have to scale on paid or scale on outbound. You cannot scale on referrals. Yes, you can get a referral, but no one is waking up in the morning thinking, how do I send Dave more referrals tomorrow? No one's doing that. We did list swaps. I mean, do you guys know what list swaps are? It is the most underrated thing that is out there. So I'll give you a very simple example. Dan and I have a good conversation. Dan's like, hey, let's cross-pollinate our lists. So pick a number, right? Dan will say, hey, I'll send people to your free opt-in. You send people to my free opt-in. Like, those are the highest quality email subscribers because someone actually read my email, read my endorsement of Dan, clicked on that, went to Dan's page, read the opt-in, subscribed. Because now you know that opt-in is a great opt-in because Dan knows that those are email clicking opt-ins. It's really powerful. But if you generate a lead online, on Facebook, they're Facebook clicking opt-ins. They may have signed up, but they may not read email. Now, some of you may say, some of you may say, oh, well, Sharran, you have 50,000 people on your list. I have 10,000 people on my list. How do I ask for this? It feels unfair, right? So if you would just tell me, hey, Sharran, I know you have a bigger list. I have 10,000, you have 50,000. Why don't you just send it to 10,000 people? Just pick 10,000, just send it to the 10,000 people on your list so it feels fair. Don't let that stop you. Because I will tell you, you could literally go from a 3,000 person list to a 30,000 person list in 60 days. just by doing list swaps. And the power is you have a collaborative group of people in the room. Are you telling me that if you double the size of your list in the next 30 days, are you telling me that you won't get more business? The number one power of a mastermind group is to lift your minimum standard. The second power of the mastermind group is to cross-pollinate your audiences. There is no reason to wait. How many of you wish that your video that you made on a piece of content you're like, I wish this got 200,000 views. So let me offer you something. If you have a good piece of content that you think everyone should see it, just put a little media behind it. Like all we did was we're like, I can either get 200,000 people to watch my stuff organically, or I can get 200,000 people to watch my stuff paid. It's okay to put a little money behind your stuff. You don't have to put a lot. On Facebook, many of you know this, if you can just say, hey, optimize for video views, optimize for video views. It'll show it to more people that watch videos. So if you're running Facebook ads, there's a little button that says that the target objective is to optimize for video views. You just check that box. You can either get a lot of organic views, or you can get a lot of paid views. At the end of the day, you got views. It's a good thing. Sometimes you start with the paid views. It's totally okay. Like you're not gonna get hundreds of opt-ins from your YouTube channel on an hourly basis like Dan, but you could pay to get those opt-ins and then build from there, right? Any opt-in's a good opt-in, as long as they read something and came into your world the right way. So I will tell you what we're doing right now. We are taking an entire keynote speech. We're uploading the whole keynote speech to Facebook. We're running the whole keynote speech as an ad, with just as for video views only. I just want people to see, no call to action, nothing, right? And then for people that watch at least 10% of that, we're retargeting them to sell them something. So literally they get big, broad status branding, and then they turn around, whoever's watched some of it, they then retarget them to go buy something. So it's much warmer. So instead of doing it the other way where I send them something cold, and then they didn't buy, and then I hammer them on the back with a lot of retargeting, I just send them something warm of me being on stage teaching, and whatever they've watched, I then turn around and watch those people and sell them something. Right? So worst case scenario, you get brand. Best case scenario, you get a warm person that clicks on your ads.